Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another evening live stream. And as you can see, I've got a new location and view and everything. We're going to be talking to you guys about the last couple of days in London and even tonight, what's been going on the streets with a number of Albanian migrants. We're also going to be taking your questions, a general Q&A if you have anything to ask, and also just generally speaking, I've got a new, and this is my new Gladstone. It's an original Gladstone from 1898. I've got it today, so I'm very proud of it, and a classical liberal leader. So anyway, let's get back to the point. Let's talk about what's been going on, because over the last couple of days, so we had the Albanian Independence Day, and somehow in London, the Albanian migrants decided to celebrate by getting out on the streets and blocking the roads in central London without getting an actual permit or anything like that, or hiring a venue somewhere to actually celebrate or whatever. And some people would say, why are they even celebrating if they are migrants from Albania and if they are all political refugees or whatever? So I'm going to be talking about all that. Don't worry about all that. Don't worry about any concerns that you guys have, especially the Ramonas and the leftists in the live chat tonight. Let's firstly go to this clip that we have of the Albanians blocking the road. And even this was from last night, a couple of days ago. But we also have tonight, in reaction to the backlash, we also have a group of Albanians again on the streets, a small group, blocking the roads.
Spins going on.
Yeah, all the expensive cars and all the luxury and everything is absolutely normal in in London. So let's focus on a couple of things. I can tell that this was clearly a reaction to our reaction to the Albanian protests a few weeks ago, and people are raising some very, very legitimate questions about the Albanian migrants in the United Kingdom. So, Albania, a member of NATO, a safe country, an ally, so-called ally, are somehow having people smugglers kidnapping their people from Albania and trafficking them into the UK, and the Albanians just wake up in a small dinghy and say, oh no, I went to sleep in Albania and woke up in Dover. UK government, can you please help me? I would like to have a free hotel, free pizza, and something to do, essentially. And I'll know where to go from here. That's the story of those who come here on small boats. And you also have those who are, well, they are openly economic migrants. They also get here. The problem we have in this country is, as opposed to a country like America, because some people are saying, Maya, why are you so concerned about the fact that Albanians are celebrating their Independence Day or flying their flags? These are the same Albanians who, at least those who we saw a few weeks ago when they were protesting outside Parliament, and they once again blocked the roads, and they were calling themselves political refugees, asylum seekers. They were proudly flying the flag of Albania, the same flag of Albania that represents the state and government of Albania, saying, well, we really didn't like Albania anymore. We really couldn't stay there. I would like to come to the UK to be saved. Then they come here and proudly fly the Albanian flag. Now, those who say, Maya, in America, we have proud Irish Americans and proud Italian Americans who go and, they are both American and Italian, for example. Okay, interesting enough, I know this whole conversation is about stereotypes, obviously. Italian Americans, for example, when they're in America, they fly the American flag. In fact, when they go to Italy, they are treated like foreigners. They are treated as Americans. Now, inside their homes, in family homes in America, mostly New Jersey, they have the Italian heritage. They're proud of their past and their ancestors, and that's absolutely fine. Everybody has some sort of past. But when they come out of their house, they are American. And that's a whole different thing to having an Albanian asylum seeker who come and says, well, I like to be saved. And then they celebrate the Independence Day of Albania. But they will never integrate. You will never see them fly the Union flag, will you? Of course, there will be odd ones. There will be one or two. But we're talking about the masses. You are not going to see that. So we're going to go to some of the comments on the live chats. I see a lot of AM says Reform Party. Also, there's another comment saying Reform Party. And then we have Mr. Knowles saying, how come the British capital doesn't represent the British? Now, this is a very interesting question because the latest research survey came out showing that the majority are no longer English British or just British born in reality. And see, we have a comment actually. Yeah, the census tells you it's all segregated communities. One thing about big metropolitan cities like New York, Manhattan, and London, and these places, it was always diverse, but it was diverse while being international. It was also diverse in regards to the natives from other small towns and villages. Right now, the problem with London is that it's mostly just foreign-born and foreign-based people who are just living here. So there is no connection. They have no connection to the United Kingdom. If the Albanian migrants who go and protest outside Parliament and blocking the roads at the same time also embrace the Union flag and embrace the British values, then that will be a whole different conversation to have. But when they come here, expect certain things, and then at the same time proudly celebrate the Albanian Independence Day and they fly the Albanian flag, then this creates a bit of a problem. Lack of integration is one problem, but lack of actually protecting the British identity is a whole different issue, and it's not helping the problem. Mandy says Reform Party is the only chance we have left to reclaim what's left of our country. Actually, this is a good one as well. Chris, it says, you see the Moroccans in Brussels rioting? Yeah, this was after the football match, the World Cup, and the Moroccan fans were celebrating. They came out in order to celebrate, completely destroyed Brussels in Belgium. So this is going to continue until people actually start to rise up against that. We're not talking about any hateful kind of rebellion. We're just simply talking about we don't want to let it get that point. Basically, you need to sort out the mess before it gets worse. If the British did this, the police would be out in full riot gear. Yes, this is the thing. For those who've just joined, I'm just going to show you quickly the clip of what we are talking about tonight. It's the Albanian migrants who came here and said, we don't like Albania anymore, you need to save us. Then they come here, instead of embracing the Union flag and becoming British, they are still proudly flying the Albanian flag. And in order to celebrate the Albanian Independence Day, they decided to illegally block the roads in central London to celebrate their Independence Day.
The wheel spins going on.
Lots of fireworks, lots of expensive cars, and lots of people. I can imagine some of them, at least some of them, are not paying taxes because, of course, they're dealing with the cash-only industry of drugs. So, not everybody. Someone actually says, "Why is it all Albanians?" This is the thing, by the way. It's not normal behavior. So we're not talking about everybody has to essentially just completely forget about their heritage or whatever, something like that. So yeah, someone says they love their country so much they live here. The problem we have is, for example, any group that has some sort of heritage, even if they want to celebrate their Independence Day. Again, let's use the example of the Italian Americans that we talked about earlier. That the leftists say, well, what about the Italian Americans? as I said, when they go to Italy, they're treated as foreigners. They're treated as Americans, not Italians. Secondly, if they want to celebrate the Columbus Day, for example, or something else. Actually, in fact, that's a good one. Italian Americans celebrate the Columbus Day, which is basically an American day. But even if they were to celebrate something from Italy, they would ideally get a permit, organize something, and hire a venue. You don't come out illegally on the street and block the roads and cause trouble and disturb the public and everybody else, and the police have to come out and just walk around like idiots. They don't even know what to do. They don't know how to react to it. Ian says that they come to Dover and see they are not Albanians. So we'll see where they're actually from. But we will be. And by the way, this is not really just about the Albanians. We're talking about that when we talk about the small boats. We are talking about also other people from other places, including some who come on these small boats from Iran. You have to be careful with that, because some of these Iranians, firstly, if there's an Iranian political refugee, then of course the priority is to just cross the border from Iran and you're safe, whether you're in Turkey or wherever else. But the Iranian regime are sending their people on these small boats to illegally enter the country. We are bringing in our own enemies, our own Iranian enemies, into the country using the small boats. This is a dangerous precedent that you're creating, and this basically, it's the new norm. This is the new norm. Now, let's go to you guys now. Ask me anything you want. I'm gonna focus on the questions in the live chat. So feel free to discuss anything else. Obviously, if you have any comments in the live chat. But if you have any questions regarding this issue, regarding any other political matter, or just about me, something, or if you have any questions about the new backdrop, for those who've just joined, I've got a new, actually I'll bring it here. This is my new Gladstone. Hello, Gladstone. So yeah, I've got a new Gladstone. It's an original Gladstone from 1898. So, bragging time over. Let's go. Let's go to the live chat and find some questions. Hopefully there will be some questions. Okay. What is this little Albania? The government have totally lost the plot. Absolutely agree. Can the UK take all our social justice warriors from America? I forgot about the social justice warriors as a phrase, as a term. Yeah, but we can't really, because the SJWs are literally everywhere. They are now running our governments. Let's have a look. Martin Smith. The demographics have been changed forever. How can it be reversed, seen as being white is now a minority? Yes, so it's tricky. What we can do is essentially, well, firstly, shut down the borders. Stop bringing in people. And you need to make sure that you remove those who are here legally and who are not supposed to be here. Secondly, we can actually then normalize whatever we have left of our identity and our culture. So those who obviously they're talking about the actual English identity or Anglo-Saxon identities. Now that includes the Welsh and everybody. Identity is one thing. Then you've got the actual culture. Those generally speaking, after the third generation, fourth generation, if they have a good family and if they live in a good environment, then integration will slowly happen. We know that. But you can't do it when you have mass migration. You cannot do it when you have mass migration. You can't create new British people. That's the issue. They're coming, Joe Butler says they are coming for our money to send back to their country. Disgusting. Yeah, so that's the other thing. Any work that a lot of people do from other countries, when they get here, any money they make, they send it back to their countries. And this is completely destroying the financial cycle, the money cycle in our own country. So let's see if there are any questions. There we go. Yeah, it will help if you guys tag me so I can see my name if there's a question. David says, Maya, do you think it's time for a show of British patriotism in the capital? Obviously, yes. But also, you do know what's going to happen. The moment we come out, even if I wear this beautiful, beautiful hoodie, and my own merchandise that you could find in the link is in the description. You could get your own hoodie. I believe in Britain. They're going to start calling us names. They're going to say, this is a dangerous 1930s style rally. Why is it that's normal for the Americans to do it? Why is it normal for the French? Oh my God, the French love their flags. Even Macron, who is a Euro-federalist, even he still flies the French flag. But we're not allowed to. But I think we just need a better leaders. We need a better representation. Nomad Scouser says, do you think there is any underground groups planning anything to stop this? Well, I'm not really sure. I mean, there will be a lot of frustrated people that legitimately on the underground. We know that Reform UK is one of the main parties fighting against this. But my worry is that things might get so bad that other people will respond in more robust ways. Someone mentioned on immigration referendum, how can this happen? You can't really. The problem we have is that the system worked until now, and I've been a defender of of constitutional monarchy and our constitution. But because our constitution is not codified, it creates some problems. I would like to have, without sounding too radical, a codified constitution that you can actually implement certain fundamental requirements for the country. And one of them, it could be in terms of the actual population, in terms of referendums, in terms of immigration. But we can't really do it based on policy based, because if you start having referendums on each policy, firstly, you might lose some of them, and it will be so fundamental it can't be reversed as much as Ramonas want to. And secondly, it doesn't really represent it. There's an issue with having referendums for policies, because if you lose it, just like how the SNP thought, if they pushed for the referendum in 2014, then they could just leave the UK. Well, you lost the referendum. Now you're in a mess. What we need is a proper movement and an actual good MPs and a political party in Parliament to represent us better. And then they could make legislations. If it gets to that point, then yeah, we're going to have to do something for a referendum. Okay, let's go to some more questions. Oh, okay. God, there we go. So, Patriot Flow says, do you think that mass resentment towards white and Christians will lead to a rise of a new, a far right or eventually? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And there is a big problem with what the left now calls hard right, but what we call just right. And even this is too hard line for the left. If they think this is bad, they should just wait. If these problems don't get sorted, you're going to see a bigger wave of more hardline right-wingers. And then, how are you going to close that lid? You open the lid, chaos is going to come out, and you can't stop it anymore. The political class, I don't care about their own agenda in regards to if they still want to push for globalism, if they still want to push for centrism and all this and big government. Even if they want to do that, and if they don't want to basically change course, they still need to slow down the pace. If they do not slow down the pace, it's going to backfire, and they can't even implement their Star Trek fantasy anyway. So the system, unless they're going to go completely dictatorial, like China, then they can't do it. Next question, Maya. What can us blue collars do to change things here? I'm tired of seeing my home fall apart before my eyes. It breaks my heart. And it's sad. I mean, those of us in London who complain about London, that's one issue. I'm more concerned, I'm more heartbroken for people outside of London, small towns and villages across the country, who are seeing their small local communities being completely destroyed. And we're not just again talking about the face of the community. That's one thing. We're talking about the blood of the community. We're talking about the attitude, the mentality, that brotherhood that no longer exists because nobody knows anybody. You don't even know your neighbors. You don't even know who's going to be walking across the road when you're walking in your own quiet, tiny road near your house. The whole area is changing. And again, this is not really just to sound too bigoted and say, well, just say no to all foreigners. We're not talking about that. We're simply saying that firstly, Britain for British. Secondly, let's look after the Brits first. And then you can actually have a sensible argument where a slow, vetted and controlled number of talented economic migrants in each area that you require. That's fine. And integration is needed. You need to have, I do not have the answer for this, by the way, But we need, ideally, a new version of an entry test and a citizenship test. I do not have the answer for it, but the ones that we have don't work. You need to have a better system to be able to test people if they are actually British, if they are genuinely doing the oath to become British, to actually embrace our values. Because if you're not going to really become British, then what is the point? What is the point in living in a country if you're not going to be one of them? So, any other questions? Let's see. I can't see any questions. Where are the questions, guys? There we go. Dan MC says, when were we asked if we wanted any of this? This is why some people then, and it's a good question, this is why some people then say, well, maybe we should have some sort of referendum. Because you don't really have in a manifesto of any political party something that says, if you vote for us, we'll bring in more migrants. So nobody has voted for it. Nobody's voted for more migration. Every politician, every party has lied for the past few years and decades. So Dan is absolutely spot on. And next time, you're going to have again Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak standing on the podium and say, if you vote for the Labour Party, if you vote for the Conservative Party, we'll bring down migration. Are you kidding me? You can't keep saying that and then do the exact opposite. It makes no sense. If you think that people are stupid, you're wrong. If you think people are going to get frustrated, but they're still going to vote for the same parties next time, yeah, technically that's been true until now. Because those of us who are aware, or as the left would say, those of us who are woke, we are awakened, we're the enlightened ones, we know. We are talking about this tonight with you guys right now. I'm talking to you guys about this, but there's still so many people out there that we haven't been able to convince. We haven't been able to get them involved with this political discourse because they're just going to inevitably end up voting red or blue again next time. You're going to see it. So we have to get out there. Even if that means I'm going to have to be forced to get back into frontline politics, I might have to, but I really don't want to. But we'll see what happens. And I'm definitely not going to be Labour or Tory. That's all I can say. I'm not going to reveal anything else. Rob says, do you think our government paid the Albanians to hold our roads up in protest? Now, I genuinely don't believe that because this whole thing is backfiring on the government. I think this is simply the Albanians and their liberal friends who are telling them, yeah, just go out there, be more visible. Again, this isn't really helping the cause because you're just creating more anti-Albanian hate. It's not. If you want to be treated like Brits, don't go out there and block the roads with the Albanian flags. If you say that I've been invited into the United Kingdom and I want to be British, then be British. I don't understand this. And you come here, again, those who do this, they come here, some of them, do cash in hand, sell drugs, don't pay tax, don't even integrate, and they send their money back to Albania, and then they bring in more salesmen, essentially. Is that how you integrate? No, I don't think so. Even if they go to a pub and drink, doesn't mean they've integrated. I do that when I wake up. Okay, so what do we have here? David says, Maya, I'm on year 1 of a waiting list for a dentist. We really don't need more people in this country unless they are dentists. I know this isn't supposed to be a fun comment, but it's sad funny. It's like dark humor. Yes, I know. There is... I don't want to go full on NIMBY, and I don't want to go full on neoliberal in terms of, well, let's just build everywhere and everything's sorted. We can have local consent to actually those places that need building, but don't start building randomly everywhere. The island that we have was built for the number of population that we have. But in regards to the actual skilled workers, then yeah, if you need, as I always say, if you need 5 doctors, if you really require 5 doctors, go call Canada or India, bring in 5 doctors and that's it. Try for everything else, try to work with what you have, work with the people that you already have. We don't have to completely, permanently shut down the borders, but for now, we need to close down immigration. Just shut it down, go negative. We need to go negative immigration. We need to sort out our mess first. Maya, what do you think of these 15 minutes cities they're going to roll out? Can you elaborate on this? Unless there's a misspelling, I might be ignorant about this topic. What's happening? Have I answered something? There we go. Oh yeah, so those who don't know, NIMBY means not in my backyard. By the way, there is a difference between NIMBY and protectionist, because with NIMBYs, NIMBYism is supposed to be hypocrisy, because a lot of NIMBYs are those who say, yes, I want house building, but not in my backyard. Whereas protectionists would say, nationalists and protectionists would say, no building, just not in my backyard and not in my anyone else's backyard either. So most people are protectionists. There are a few NIMBYs, and NIMBYs are mostly the local politicians who go to Westminster and say, well, yeah, we need more house building. And then they go to the local constituents and say, yeah, let's vote against house building in my area. You're a hypocrite, absolute hypocrite. Let's see. Oh, we have a question. Lee Grant. Hi, Maya. How did you get into politics? Oh, God. I need to get some beer. So, I didn't... well, good question. How did I get into politics? So, obviously, my mother was a political refugee from Iran. A genuine political refugee. She was saved by the British Embassy. And one issue that we have is a lot of people, even second generation kids, come here think that they can't integrate or shouldn't integrate, always integrate. So I grew up on a council estate in Lewisham, southeast London, and my family, I was raised quite well, but the area was quite deprived, and everybody was so defeatist. And my mother was confused, saying my mother was so grateful for being in the UK. She loved this country, and she said this country gave me a fresh start. So she and I were confused. That why is everybody complaining? Why is everybody in this area thinking that this is the worst country in the world and that we're all going to die? So that kind of gave me that motivation to be more aware about current affairs and political matters and everything else. And especially with what happened to my mother escaping Iran, I had to become political. Then I went to university, and then I saw younger people all being socialists. And I was like, okay, literally my family left an Islamic socialist country like Iran to come here, and some people are still advocating for what we had in Iran. Like, do not turn Britain into another Iran. So that was my motivation to start fighting to save and protect British values. That was my motivation. So I went to university. Don't hold it against me. I joined the Tory party at the time because obviously there was nothing else from the political right at the time, really. This is a while ago, years ago. And then I actually stood as a local Conservative candidate, but it was a Labour heartland, so I was never going to win that election anyway. But I still had normal jobs throughout my 20s. I started making YouTube videos a few years ago when Theresa May failed to deliver Brexit. With her messy negotiations, I decided to make some videos as a hobby alongside my job to keep people informed about the Brexit negotiations. The channel took off, and I took a risk. I left my job, and I said, I think this is my cause. I think this is my calling. I need to do this full time. Everybody advised against it. My friends freaked out, saying, what on earth are you doing? You're not going to survive. Nobody survives in this industry. But it worked. And we became the media. Then I stopped being party political. I stopped being a Tory member. And I decided to be independent-minded and just focus on British values and actual British conservatism. And this is where we are. Okay, that was a good rant. I think that was like half the story, by the way. I might do a full video on this at some point for those of you who are new to the channel. Okay, let's have a look. Mr. Lister says, Maya, why don't you join the Reform Party? We need people like you representing us. As I said, I might be forced to get back into frontline politics, and I can't say anything now yet, but let's just say I've been talking to some of my good friends, Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, and we've just been talking about just the concerns that we have for the country. I'm not saying anything. I haven't said anything. I haven't decided anything. There is no announcement just yet. But for now, I'm just focusing on being independent. I'm focusing on being the media to fight back against the complacency of the establishment and, of course, the lies of the establishment. Rick Shaw, love that name. I hope that's real, by the way. Rick Shaw says, you are doing a great job, Maya. Thank you so much. And Jane says, yep, you are living your true self. That's the thing. I mean, the moment I sell out, it will be difficult. So I'm going to try and not sell out as long as possible. I'm going to try and remain independent, and we'll see how everything goes. Another comment says, Almighty, but you are doing a great job, Maya. Thank you so much, everybody. And any other questions that you guys have, just feel free to put. I'm just going to have a look at the live chat. We're Bear TV. By the way, check out Bear TV's YouTube channel as well. Thank you. You're a top YouTuber. Okay. Where are the questions? Any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to go to bed. Although, I'm going to go watch the highlights of the Saudi game because they broke the hearts of the Mexicans. Poor Mexicans. If you didn't watch the game, that was funny. Right. So, was that a question? Let's see if there's a question. During the 1800s, the British government incentivized a mass immigration from the Midlands to avoid the division between the rich and poor. Do you think that this may happen again? That was when governments were at least semi-competent and they knew what they were doing. Do you really think that right now, with the quality of politicians, we can't even get anything done, any simple projects? They can't even finish HS2. High-speed rail 2 is still going on. And by the way, they need to just cancel it right now. Scrap HS2 because you're wasting taxpayers' money on a luxury project that's only going to help the rich people who are going to work in London. But yeah, they can't even get... They took them 50, 70, for 500 years to get Brexit done. No, governments can't do anything anymore. The only thing they can do is just open doors for people to come in. Or just allow international institutions to become our globalist institutions and run our affairs. Lisa Stokes says, Maya, more people like you should stand up with British people and fight this. You're encouraging bad behavior, guys. Don't make me do things I don't want to. Truth will win says, do you think Farage will run? Again, and I've been speaking to Nigel. We will see what happens within the next year or so. We cannot say. I can't say anything. I can't talk on behalf of Nigel or anybody else. Martin says, Maya, should we try and get every MP deselected if they support illegal migration? The problem is, they all support illegal migration, essentially. Even if they say they don't, they still do support it. The only thing we can do, we still have a bit of democracy left. We have to actually create a movement. We basically get behind one party, and again, whether it's going to be reform or whatever, one unified party from the right. Get everybody, all of us. Some of you could become candidates. Some of you could just become become campaigners, and some you can just do it online activism, and some could just vote. That's still fine. But if you actually use the bit of democracy that we have left, the next general election, I know it's difficult to believe or dream that a new party could win seats, but it can. That's how the Labour Party started. When the game was between the Liberal Party and the Tory Party at the time, the Labour Party came out of nowhere and they did it. So you can do it. And if you get a good number of MPs from a new third party inside the House of Commons, then the game has changed. Then you can start properly to reform the country. No pun intended. So, David, we need to protect the farmland to feed the population. Why don't people understand this? Do you think the left don't get this? Of course the left don't get this. The left are the ultra-globalists who say, oh, if you can't have your own farm, products from your own farm, it's okay, you can just bring it from France. Well, okay. I thought free trade was supposed to be the concept that if you have some products here, you build it, you have it yourself, and you sell it to those who don't have it, and you buy products from other countries that you can't have in this country. That was the point of free trade. Now, it makes no sense. If you can have milk in this country, why would you buy French milk? You destroyed the concept of free trade. That wasn't supposed to be free trade. Free trade was when America was selling the world cotton and tobacco, and then we were selling them, what were we selling them? Tea, I guess. So that was actually, they had tea themselves. But you have to, there's no logic behind what's going on right now internationally when it comes to trade. We have to protect our farms and our farmers, especially with what's going on in France, with what's going on in the Netherlands. There is no protection for anybody. Okay, so any other question? This is, well, I thought this was like the longest live stream. I thought I'd been going for like 2 hours. I've only been going for 35 minutes. If you get tired of me, let me know, by the way. I'm going to keep going for the next few minutes. Any other questions that you have? If you want to get personal, ask me anything. And Nyla says, Maya, when can we expect to see Reform's manifesto? So Reform UK, as far as I know, as an outsider, they are presenting regular policy programs every few weeks or every month or so, and they are doing good campaign videos as well. But in terms of actual full manifesto, most parties wait until the actual election season. I have a feeling of what Reform UK should do is publish their manifesto beforehand, just before the other parties, just before the election season starts. And I believe that's when we're going to see a full manifesto. But before the actual full manifesto, we're going to see a comprehensive policy program from Reform UK. And so it won't be long. Give it about a year, basically. Mick, please help our country get out of this mess. It's getting worse every day now. This is exactly why I said that the only reason I'm tempted to be forced to get into back into frontline politics is because of this. If it were any other situation, if the debate we were having right now was simply about high taxes and low taxes, or the NHS is getting bigger, or I don't know, nationalizing the railways, I wouldn't feel the urgency to get into politics. I would just do my job as a media person online to actually just hold them to account. But if the question is becoming the soul and the identity of the country that gave my mother and my family a fresh chance, a second chance to start and live freely, then that's a whole different question. And people like me and people like a lot of you should get involved. Absolutely. We should get involved. And as I said, while we still have a bit of political democratic process, a bit of it left, we have to exercise it. Oh dear. Right. What time is it? It's almost 10:30. Okay. Chris says, love to see you in Westminster as an MP. You do realize as an MP, I can't really do YouTube. I'd love to do YouTube, guys. Don't make me leave my job. All right. Maya, I'm surprised you haven't heard of the 15-minute city. Check it out. I will definitely. Is this the video that they did with the wall? That there was this project. I think they've tried in one place. I think it was in like one of the Arab countries that tried to do this artificial cities. Is it that one? I'll just Google it now just in case to make sure if it is. I think it might be that one. I might be completely wrong. Oh, it looks different, but it's a similar concept. Yeah, similar concept. Yeah, ish. It's different, but yeah. Okay, I'll have a look at it. How did the Albanians pay for their cars? I mean, by the way, to go with nuance and balance, there are also actually Albanians who came here years ago and they're doing different jobs. but I know what the point of the question is, because considering we've had thousands and thousands of Albanians coming here recently, and we now know that the majority of them are basically criminals and work as drug dealers. Yeah, I know. That's how they pay for their cars. Andrew says, you have a great platform to help us that have never got involved with politics before. We need someone like you to teach us what to do. I mean, I would love to actually do that. One of the lessons you learn as a failed Tory candidate, running in a Labour heartland, is you learn a lot about frontline politics and on the ground, the battleground. And I think I've been speaking to some friends as well, when I think we need to take this to a new level. I think obviously what I do here is fine. Every day we still get more views than mainstream media overall every single day. But I think whilst we need a good, credible political party like Reform fighting on that front, we also probably need a grassroots movement, which I'm thinking about doing, to go out there with more rallies, Trump style. I think we're going to start doing rallies. I think I'm going to get involved, and I think I'm going to have to basically go around the country properly this time. We've done some events around the country in the past, but that was mostly meet and greet as me, as a media guy, as a YouTuber. But I think we're going to have to put together a program to actually do something, a proper grassroots movement. Maya, what do you think it will take to push the public over the edge and revolt en masse? It's when the political class and parliament visibly show that they don't care or they refuse to change. Sort of like what you saw with the Brexit negotiations. If the Tory party hadn't elected Boris as leader in 2019, and if Boris hadn't gotten Brexit done, I can assure you there would have been actual revolt on the streets, because the Remain Parliament was being destructive. We had the Remain Parliament that were wiped out, basically, that version of it, in the 2019 general election. But now we have a different problem. We have a problem with complete centrist globalists and politicians who are just refusing to listen to the public because they think we are extreme nationalists, that we hate everybody else. No, we're not. JC, Maya, do have live phoning sometimes. Thank you for this. Is a very, very good suggestion. I am a massive technophobe. So if anybody right now in the live chat knows a very simple, basic, cheap system that I can use for a phone-in, like online, and ideally just use my microphone on my laptop, right now, let me know in the live chat the name of the system. Or send me a link. And just let me know it's something. Just give me some sort of support, because I don't know anything about technology. Which is quite ironic because I'm a political YouTuber. But yeah, with actual hardware and things like that, I'm not good at. So if anybody knows any system that could do phone-in with, obviously doing videos on my laptop, that is relatively cheap and not complicated, I don't want crazy, something basic, let me know, and I will definitely start doing phone-ins. Okay. Stop wasting your time talking. No, that's good advice. Thank you so much, London Calling. All right, so let's... WhatsApp. Is that a recommendation for the phone-in? Because I don't think I can use WhatsApp. So, oh, really? What? Oh, well, oh, now I know what you mean. Patriot also the Telegram PC app. I'll check that out. Dial up. That better be name of an app, because otherwise the 1990s called and they want your suggestions back. Bear TV. I'll check it out anyway. Okay, so keep it going, picking up a lot about our political issues. That is kept quiet. Thank you so much, Elwin. Okay. Rumble is free. Can you do phone-ins on Rumble though? We need a system that could actually help me get you guys to call a number. I don't want to give my phone number out, because you know what's going to happen. You need a big red telephone. You're just trolling me now, Bear TV. Great. Okay. Susie Davis says technology. I'm still on Steam Radio. Oh, you and me both, Susie. You and me both. It's everything takes me so long to actually get it. I'm not that much of a technophobe, but I refuse. It took me until, what was it, last year, to finally get involved with Instagram. I know, it took me that long to get into Instagram. I was still using Facebook like an idiot. I just use Twitter and YouTube. That's what I do. Okay. Yeah, I've got to read this one. Sorry, my son edited my name. Please take me seriously. I hope that's a true story. This is funny. Okay, look at the name. Okay, so Martin says, will you answer the phone, seeing as the police don't? Ooh, yeah. I'll definitely find something. I'll check out the Telegram PC app. PC. I mean, hopefully that also applies to Mac because I got a MacBook. Okay. Mal Baker says, Maya, I am not politically minded, but I can see that our country is being given away, and I want to do something to help get it back. What can I do to get involved? As I said, if things get worse, well, things are worse basically now. I'm considering to obviously start, apart from actual frontline politics, with the next election. I think we need to start a grassroots movement. I think we need to start going around the country, start holding rallies, to start actually talking to each other, to know what the agenda is, and what actually we can do, so that we could actually start building up a movement, and we'll see where we are. So I'm genuinely, if you guys are interested, I'm definitely happy to do that. Lisa recommends Skype. Again, if what we need is, I don't know about Skype if they can do it on Skype, but what we need is for me to give out a number or something to you guys. So when you guys call it, it goes straight to my system or whatever it is. So we'll find out. Anyway, I don't want to just completely use you guys as my political advisors or my personal assistant. So we'll find out exactly at some point. Okay, and Chris reminds us that like the video, click on the thumbs up button. We've still got over 500 people watching. Everyone's left. I've been talking for a long time. Jane says that I listen to you every day. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Jane, and everybody else in the live chat. Okay, I'm tired. For those of you who joined us late, let's once again show you what happened on the streets of London when the Albanian Independence Day happened. Some Albanian migrants decided to celebrate their Independence Day by proudly fly the Albanian flags, but also by illegally blocking the roads in central London instead of actually organizing some sort of gathering or hiring a venue. This is what happened. Yeah, that was interesting. Chris says, how do you research so much news? There's a reason I'm still single, guys, because I'm constantly on my phone. I don't want to be single. So yeah, if you have any relatives that want to date someone, let me know. If you want to set me up with anybody. Actually, I might need a girlfriend to just stop me from constantly being on my phone, because that's the answer to the question, Chris. Because I'm literally, I wake up and I go to sleep. I have to check all the news sources, and I don't just check the mainstream media. I have to find out all the independent rogue sources. So I go to sleep still checking my phone, which is very sad and very unhealthy, but it's very proactive. That's how I managed to stay on top of everything. But if you guys can help me find a girlfriend, then maybe that girlfriend could stop me from being on my phone. Yeah, so you could send me an email with your options. Or DM me on Twitter. Alright, anyway, thank you so much for all the support. I'm going to get into so much trouble tonight. Okay, as long as we're not banned on YouTube, I'll be coming back. I'm going to try and do more evening live streams after obviously we do all the updates throughout the day, every half an hour. But most evenings, if I'm not out in the pub, then I'll be here around 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock with a chit-chat live stream to review the day and see where we are. Thank you so much for all the support. Make sure to click on the thumbs up button. And if you want to get your own I Believe in Britain merchandise, check out the link in the description. I'm Maya TC, and I'll see you guys in the next video.